Of the good folks at Caribbean Alliance. Have you called Caribbean Alliance as yet? Yeah, you. I talking to you, you know. Yes, you I talking to. Yeah, you I talking. But you I talking to. Have you called Caribbean Alliance as yet? Okay, good. Okay, at least I get one answer. You're not answering me. At least Gavin answered me. Gavin said he has called Caribbean Alliance. So yes, Gavin is well covered with Caribbean Alliance. Do like Gavin. Call Caribbean Alliance and organize. Set yourselves up. Thank you very much to the good folks at Caribbean Alliance. For powering us up right here on DBS Radio. Time check. It's 6 o'clock. It's time to bring you the evening news right here on your nation station.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, the Roseau City Council threatens legal action against property owners who have failed to pay land and house rates. In news from the region, Jamaica records a bloodless week all year with 44 murders. And internationally, prosecutor drops federal criminal charges against U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this?
We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you
More
want.
gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to $10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmas in with free groceries from Flow. Plus, a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
DBS News.
Welcome back. The Roseau City Council is threatening legal action against property owners who have failed to pay land and house rates. City Clerk and CEO of the Roseau City Council, Thomas Baptist, says defaulters have until December 16 to visit the office and make payment arrangements. He says the action has become necessary as the level of non-compliance of some residents is cause for concern.
Property owners in the city of Roseau, in arrears of land and house rates, are advised that legal action will be taken by the council to recover all rates due to the Roseau City Council. Delinquency in payments of land and house rates will no longer be tolerated by the council. Non-compliance with notices, invoices, and public announcements reminding property owners of their obligation to settle their land and house rates has gone unanswered, and it is now time for decisive actions to be taken against defaulters of land and house rates. The non-payments of rates by property owners has impeded severely on the council's ability to provide some essential services within the municipality of Roseau. There are urgent needs within the city limits, which requires urgent attention by council, and the funds to do so have not been forthcoming due to the non-payments of property taxes to the Roseau City Council. The council is left with no choice but to invoke the provisions of the Collection of Taxes Ordinance, Chapter 6601 of the revised laws of Dominica, to have the council outstanding land and house rates collected.
City Clerk and CEO of the Roseau City Council, Thomas Baptist. Minister for the Environment, Kozia Frederick, has highlighted the need for climate financing in order to better build the Caribbean's resilience. His remarks came at the 29th Conference of the Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP29. Frederick, who is CARICOM's lead representative for climate change adaptation, says developed countries not staying true to their pledge are hindering the Caribbean's resilience. resilience efforts.
As a frontline island in the climate crisis, we underscore the urgency for ambitious global action and for stronger financial support for adaptation and resilience. This will safeguard our future and preserve our unique natural and cultural features. Whenever major events affect us, we are always use our limited financial resources. Dominica has invested heavily in building resilience, infrastructure, and human capacity, with the vision of being the world's first climate resilient nation in the world. This was on the heels of Hurricane Maria, which destroyed 226% of our GDP overnight in 2017. In response, we have mainstreamed resilience across the public sector and created policies to guide us. We have also invested in geothermal energy as an alternative to fossil fuels. All of these are expensive ventures. Dominica call on all of us to address pivotal areas in global climate policy. We must set a new climate finance goal to replace the previous 100 billion annual target. We support the Caribbean community continued call for doubling of climate finance from 2019 levels by 2025 in accordance with the Paris Agreement. We are not satisfied with the adaptation falling short of its contribution targets and developed countries not staying true to their pledge of doubling their contributions.
Minister for the Environment, Kozia Frederick. 9 charitable organizations in Dominica were today presented with monetary donations amounting to $24,000 from the President's Charities Foundation. In total, 15 charitable organizations will receive funds, with the remaining 6 to be presented at a later date. A check ceremony was held at the State House Conference Center this morning.
It is indeed an honor for me to stand here before you on behalf of the President's Charities Foundation as we present donations to 9 of our 15 beneficiaries, totaling a sum of $24,000. A further amount of $20,000 will be presented to the remaining 6 beneficiaries in December during my annual Christmas visits. A total sum which will be distributed this year is $44,000, which reflects a similarity to last year's figure. These donations are from the proceeds of the Foundation's fundraising dinner, which took place on Saturday, 12 October 2024 at the Fort Young Hotel. The donation is a small gesture, however, it represents the deep commitment of the President's Charities Foundation to making a positive impact on the lives of individuals and families who are facing challenges, especially during the holiday season. Today's donation ceremony is a reminder that when we come together, no matter how big or small the contribution, we can create real change.
President of Dominica, Her Excellency Savani Burton. Some of the recipients of today's check presentation thanked the President's Charities Foundation for their donation.
On behalf of the board, members, and staff of DAPD, we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation once again to the President's Charities Foundation, Inc. And this contribution at this time will be passed on because this is a season for giving. So thank you very much, and we will be giving to our members as well.
I don't think I have enough words, or I can find the appropriate words on behalf of the members, how thankful I am to be here yearly to receive a check to help our fellow members. But I also want you to bear in mind, we do not solely distribute solely for the members. We also look for those who are very much desperately in need but have very little or no help at all.
Dominica Council on Aging is once again pleased to be a recipient of such a worthy gift. But today I received this gift because we are going to be using this gift for the moment. Today, the 25th of November, the United Nations recognizes today as the International Day to recognize the elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls. And I'm accepting this at the time when this is something that is very prevalent in our society. Violence against women, girls, and by no means least some men. We would like to say that we are going to try to use this fund to try to help us in our creating awareness against such immoral things that takes place with regards to our elders and particularly our women in society.
We at REACH, reaching the elderly and abandoned citizens, are truly appreciative of your generous donations to our organization in assisting the elderly of our community. Thank you.
On behalf of the National Council of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul and all our benefactors, we wish to express our heartfelt thanks to the President's Charities Foundation for their contribution and support over the years. Your annual contribution has allowed us to assist the elderly, the less privileged, in the various communities across the island.
The coordinators, staff, and children of the Social Center express sincere thanks to the President Charity Foundation for once again selecting the Social Center to be a recipient of this year's donation. Your contribution has made a meaningful difference in the lives of the children we serve.
Some of the recipients of the President's Charities Foundation check donation. 50 families will receive keys to new homes in the coming weeks. Minister for Housing, Land and Urban Development, Melissa Popon-Skerrit, made the announcement during the President's Charities Foundation check donation ceremony this morning.
Giving back not only enriches the lives of others, but also fills our own souls with joy. And I can attest that this is the satisfaction of what makes my job worthwhile. The joy and the ability to provide a helping hand for those in need. And as the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, usually I push towards the end of the year to provide the ultimate gift, the gift of a home. And we have been successful this year again, and soon in a couple of weeks we'll be handing over 50 homes that are ready to give out to deserving families. This initiative is a testament to our commitment to ensuring that everyone has a place to call a home, a foundation from which they can thrive and flourish.
Minister for Housing, Land and Urban Development, Melissa Popon-Skerrit. On the feature segment of the evening news, we focus on the Northern District Home for the Aged. Established in the aftermath of Hurricane David in 1979, the Northern Home for the Aged has served as a source of relief for the destitute and elderly. Administrator for the Northern District Home for the Aged, Joey Patrick, is our feature on the DBS Evening News.
This institution have been formed since after the Hurricane David to house vulnerable and disabled persons in the community after Hurricane David, because a lot of persons had during that time had lost their homes and they had no other place to lay their head, and that is when the institution came across. So just call it 40-something plus years this institution have been in existence.
How many residents do you have at the home?
Okay, presently we have 13 residents.
And who are these residents? Are they elderly or just anybody who is unable to fend for themselves?
We have elderly. We have a few young persons that are disabled because the home also caters to disabled persons. We have persons that suffered stroke as well. We are visually impaired. We have bedridden persons. So we have 2 persons that are bedridden in our institution. So, these persons, they need full care, day-to-day care. Yes, that's it. We have 13 residents.
In terms of a management team, who are the people taking care of these people at the home?
Well, we have staff. We have up to 10 staff. And also, the institution itself is run by a board. And we have staff.
In terms of finances, in terms of assistance to run the home, how is that done?
The home solely, back then, we used to, persons used to donate to the institution. And because of the crisis that we are faced with, like we went through COVID and then past Hurricane Maria. So all these, donation has kind of dwindled a bit. So we're not getting donation as we used to before. We're getting a few, but not as much as we used to before. And the few, payments that we receive from the residents, that's what we use to run the institution. I always say, because some of the residents that are there, some of the families, sometimes we don't see them. And I believe members should play a vital role in terms of we're already doing the job. The most that you can do right now is show more interest, come and visit them, spend some time with them, and to the extended public, and not just around Dominica, but around the world. We have Dominicans out there, that can give back to our institution. So, I am appealing, I'm calling on them to, to pour more into our institution.
Administrator of the Northern District Home for the Aged, Joey Patrick. And that's a national focus, regional and international developments. Up next.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this? We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you
More
want.
gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to 10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmas in with free groceries from Flow. Plus, a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
DBS News.
In news from the region, last week was the bloodiest in Jamaica this year, with 44 murders recorded, the highest for any 7-day period in 2024. According to the latest statistics released this morning, as of November 23rd, the updated murder toll was 1,039. The previous update, a week prior, showed that Jamaica recorded 995 murders as of November 16. Since then, the year-on-year murder decline has dipped to 18%. 2 of the 19 police divisions have recorded over 100 murders, namely St. James 117 and St. Andrew South 107. And internationally, Special Counsel Jack Smith has asked judges to dismiss a federal election interference case and a classified documents case against Donald Trump, as he is set to become the next U.S. president. In new documents filed today, Smith told the judges the cases should be closed because of a Justice Department policy that bans the prosecution of a sitting president. Trump had pleaded not guilty in both cases. One of the cases is related to his efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss to President Joe Biden, and the other is related to his mishandling of sensitive files once he left the White House. And that's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with your DBS Evening Sports Report. Let's bowl off with some cricket news and good news as the West Indies have put themselves in a winning position as they head into the fifth and final day of playing the first test match with Bangladesh. Well, the West Indies fast bowlers are bang on target as Bangladesh have found themselves on the verge of a big defeat. Let's recap the day 4 highlights. Bangladesh declared overnight on 269 for 9. Jeka Ali had top scored at 53 and Momilil Haq 50. Alzari Joseph, he bagged 3 for 69 and Justin Graves 2 for 34. Jaden Seals 2 for 42. While the West Indies batting a second time, looking to score as quickly as possible, were bowled out for 152 runs. Alec Athanaze top scored at 42. We had Taskim Ahmed who picked up 6 for 64 for the Bangladesh team. While the Tigers, chasing 334 to win, were rocked by Kema Roach early up and they were quickly reduced to 59 for 5. Bangladesh eventually reached 109 for 7 at stumps. Mehdi Hassan, he got 45. For Kema Roach, he picked up 3 for 20 and Jaden Seals 3 for 31. The scores heading into day 5. The West Indies 450 for 9 and 152 all out. Bangladesh 269 for 9 and 109 for 7. Bangladesh still needs 225 more runs to win. The West Indies 3 wickets. While the West Indies fast bowler Kema Roach says it was a good showing from the fast bowlers.
233 is not the amount of runs we wanted exactly, but I think what we needed to do is just be consistent to start. Make it extremely hard for the openers, and if you can prize 2 or 3 wickets up front, we know we're going to be in the game. So my job was pretty simple. Hit my lines, use my skills, and just challenge the batsman on both edges, inside and out. So it worked pretty good today. For me, it's all about hitting the areas, the movement throughout the day. Once the ball is in good condition and we take good care of the ball, we always get lateral movement through the air. So I'm pretty happy born here at Antigua. And on a 17 wicket day, I think the wicket quickened up a little bit. I think we agreed that the best day to bat was on second, probably the third day. But definitely today the ball quickened up a little bit more, and obviously we have some very quick bowlers in Alzari and Jaden, obviously in Shamar, and they exploit that very well. It's just putting the ball in the right areas and expressing yourself. That's all it is. For me, it's just about focusing on that 6 meter length as much as you can, obviously, and bring the batsman forward, get him to defend to cover. That's what I always look to do, get batsmen to defend to cover, so you can always challenge both sides of the edges and just work your skills from there.
And that's the West Indies fast bowler, Kema Roach. Well, let's stay with cricket news as the 2024 Regional Super 50 Overs tournament ended last weekend without a champion, as both the Barbados Pride and the Jamaican Scorpions opted to forfeit Saturday's final. Well, Cricket West Indies, as a result, has declared that there will be no champion for the tournament. The final, which was scheduled to begin at 1 o'clock on Saturday, was heavily impacted by the rain, and under the playing conditions, the latest the game could have begun was at 6:17 p.m. and it would have been reduced to a 20 overs a side match. According to the playing conditions applicable to the tournament, if no play was possible at all, or in the event of a tie, or no result, or game abandonment, both teams would be declared co-winners of the tournament. However, at around 5:45, the officiating team determined that the game could proceed at the latest possible start time of 6:15. They informed the players of this, and the toss would have been conducted at 6 o'clock. Despite the assurances from the umpires and the match referee that the conditions were safe for play, both captains failed to be present for the toss, allowing time to elapse past the latest starting point. As a result, both teams failed to take to the field, effectively refusing to play. Well, this resulted in a double forfeit, with no champion being declared. The Cricket West Indies, in a statement last night, said that they will review the tournament's regulations in light of the unprecedented situation of a double forfeit. Of course, I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more during the course of the week on this development in the Regional Super 50 Overs tournament. Over a month of cricket, and at the end of the day, no champion to show, as both teams decided to forfeit. We're staying with cricket news this evening as the Indian captain Jasprit Bumrah says he is happy with the way India responded after being bowled out for 150 to win the first test match against Australia. Well, the Indians took a 1-0 lead in the test series with a crushing 295-run win over Australia this morning. The final scores in the test match: India 150 and 487 for 6 declared, Australia 104 and 238 all out.
Yeah, very happy with the beginning. We were put under pressure in the first innings, but the way we responded after that, I'm really proud of the team.
I want to take you back to day one. You won the toss, a bold decision to bat first. You bowled out for 150. What did you say to your team as you went out there to take the field?
I played here in 2018, so I remember that, when you start here, the wicket is a little soft and then becomes quicker and quicker, so I was relying on that experience. Obviously, this wicket was a little less spicy than the last one that I played here, but we were really well prepared, so I was just telling everyone to, have faith in their process and ability, because over here at this moment you have an opportunity to do something special. So on a given day, experience does matter, but if you have faith in your ability, you can do something special.
And that's the Indian Test captain Jasprit Bumrah. Meantime, Australian captain Pat Cummins said the Australians were made to pay for some poor cricket.
Yeah, fairly disappointing. We thought our prep leading in was really good. Everyone was firing, and just one of those games, not much went right. So fair bit to look up ahead of next week.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a break between the two test matches. Is that a help or a hindrance?
Oh, it is what it is. I think after a loss, you always want to get back on the horse pretty quickly, but we'll take a couple of days rest and then we'll get into Adelaide. And I think we'll have a good prep leading into that test.
Any particular area? I mean, it's only just happened, but is there any area of focus that you think you need to improve significantly on to get back into this?
Oh, look, we didn't really give ourselves a chance, in a few different facets. So I think, that late on day one, if you just got through that period, maybe you said the game looks a little bit different on day two. Obviously, a couple of big partnerships when we were bowling. So there's a few different areas we've got to clean up.
And that's the Australian Test captain Pat Cummins. Well, India, they're leading the 5-match series 1-0. India has also retaken the lead in the World Test Championships points table as the race for the top two continues. Australia, they're in second place. Sri Lanka in third. New Zealand are in fourth place. South Africa fifth. England sixth. Pakistan seventh. Bangladesh in 8th place, and the West Indies are in 9th place. Well, the second test match between India and the Australians gets underway on December the 6th. Let's move on to some domino news this evening as BNS Stars, Combined Forces Element Agencies, 80 Boys and Palm Boys are all through to the semi-finals of the National Domino League. They all advanced following wins in the quarterfinals last weekend.
At the quarterfinals of the National Domino League, held last weekend, where teams battled fiercely for a spot in the semi-finals. These are the winners attaining a premier spot to the next level of the competition. BNS Stars defeated Green City by 403 points. Scores: BNS Stars 3012, Green City 2604. Combined Forces Element Agencies squeezed out Warriors by 275 points. Combined Forces 3008, Warriors 2733 points. Early Boys edged out New Block in a nail-biter by 83 points. Scores: Early Boy 3007, New Block 2924. While Palm Boys crushed Valiants by 522 points. Scores: Palm Boys 3002, Valiants 2480. This is Martin Anthony Scotland reporting.
And that's the PRO of the Dominica Domino Association, Anthony Scotland. Let's go to football now as a Central Cooperative Credit Union, Dubla FC, have retained their DFA Premier League title for the second year in a row. Well, Dubla captured the title last night after second place Valvoline United were held to a 3-3 draw with their rivals Connect 767, Courts, Ready Cash, East Central at the DFA Technical Centre, where Dubla earlier on the weekend had basically sealed the deal with a 7-0 thumping of the Belfast Estate Mahusuka Strikers. Travis Joseph, he got a hat-trick to take his tally of goals for the season to 26. That's a new DFA record. Dubla's win on Saturday and We United's draw last night means that Dubla tops the table with an unassailable 40 points with 2 games left to play. Well, Dubla captain is Brielle Thomas.
It's always a good feeling to be a champion, no matter what sport you play, no matter what you get yourself into. To have the name champion added to it is also a special feeling, and I just want to say I'm proud of my team, I'm proud of my executive, I'm proud of my fans, I'm proud of every single body involved in the club.
Back-to-back championships for you, Brielle, and of course we saw exceptional performances from Travis Joseph, the leading goal scorer, record-breaking season for him. We also had Odell Laville, who did quite well. Your goalkeeper, Jerome Burkhardt, had a number of clean sheets. So overall, how would you assess your team's performance overall?
Well, Gavin, as you know, I'm very proud of my boys. As you say, we are the Travis Joseph record breaker right now. We still have the Odell Laville that still could be a record breaker and still have a number of assists to add with it. We still have maybe the best playmaker right now when in terms of stats and numbers. Savio Anselm. We still have Rusty, Mr. Consistent. Jerome Burkhardt leading from behind, our shot stopper. We still have Erskine Williams, good addition to the team. Right now, it's too many names to mention. And I just want each and every one of them to know that I'm very proud of them. Even when I probably didn't have the best season as last season, as you know, I got player of the season. Just to see them step up and own their name and make a name for themselves. Just to see that I'm very proud of them, and it's a better feeling than me getting player of the season because I feel that they improve individually. So it's just a big step, and as I have to say, I'm just very proud of them.
And that's the Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla FC captain, Brielle Thomas. Well, at the other end of the table, Petro Carbe Point Michel, they dropped 2 crucial points in their bid to avoid relegation in their matchup with Promex Harlem United. Harlem came from a goal down twice to secure a 4-4 draw in a high-scoring thriller at the DFA Technical Centre on Saturday. Kyle Del Sol, Perry Charles, Bert Casimir and Daniel Dupini scored for Point Michel, while Dante Warrington scored 2 goals and Dwayne Etienne and Tariq John Baptiste got a goal for Harlem. Well, the draw leaves Point Michel on 13 points, 1 point behind Bath State, who are on 14 points with just 1 more game left in the season. Point Michel head coach Herschel Gregoire says the result did not really help his team.
Well, personally, I see it as drop points. We should have won that game. We had the game there. It was there for the taking, but we didn't take advantage of that.
What areas do you think you didn't capitalize on tonight?
We got some chances to finish and we didn't finish them. And also our defense was a little sloppy at times and we gave away too many easy goals.
In the context of the relegation battle, this puts you now on 13 points. We're still behind Bath State. Still everything to play for in the final game.
Yes, we have 1 more game to go and we have to give it our all, everything. We have to put everything on the line in that last game and we have to go for the win.
So how will you be preparing the guys for that now mentally? What will be the game plan, discussions like with the team?
Well, mentally, the guys need to focus a little more because as you can see for the entire season, we have been struggling. And the most important thing is practice. We have not been putting in the work in practice and we need to get some practice in. We get a few days, we might be able to do something from that.
All right, and your next game is against?
Against We United.
We United. All right, that's going to be a tough game though because We United will still be, fighting for second place as well.
Yes, it will be a very crucial game because they're fighting for a position, we're fighting for one, so it's going to be a battle at the last game.
And that's the Point Michel, Petro Carbe Point Michel head coach Herschel Gregoire, taking us to the end of the DBS Evening Sports Report tonight. Of course, you heard the news earlier on with Leila Langford, and I brought you the sports. On behalf of our entire news and sports department, our links person DJ Halo Boy, I'm Gavin Richards saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts. paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 25th day of November 2024. We'll begin with the evening edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements. We announce the death of Marcus Laron, better known as Maxo, age 66 of Grand Bay, who resided in Guadeloupe. He died on Monday, the 18th of November. He will be remembered by his brothers Peter Laron, Advin, Andiel, Talmon, and Asa Angol. His sisters Ophelia Laron in Guadeloupe, Carol and Mary Laron in the USA, Rachel Joseph in Canada, Adeline Angol in Antigua, Vashti, Priscilla, and Rebecca Angol in Canada. His uncles Louis, Evans, Hagan, and Alexander Johnson. His aunts Marcella, Jerome in Canada, nephews Jean-Marc, Elaine, and Joel, nieces Catherine Laron, Elodie, and Joy Angol. Close relatives, the Angol, Laron, and Johnson families, and other relatives and friends in Grand Bay and Guadeloupe, names too numerous to mention. The funeral service of the late Marcus Laron, better known as Maxo of Grand Bay, who resided in Guadeloupe, will take place at 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday, the 26th of November, at the Paroisial Church in Goubrier, Guadeloupe, and will be followed by interment at the Goubrier Cemetery in Guadeloupe. We announce the death of Martha Evelyn Moses, better known as Evelyn Thomas, Evo, and Tom Tom, age 64 of 1A Citronier. She was the daughter of Keturah Anastasia Moses Joseph. She was the mother of Shavara Joseph. She will also be remembered by her stepfather Simon Joseph, her grandson Kaimari Knight, her sisters Jane, Karen, Evelyn in Dominica, Joyce and Judy in Florida, Janice Thomas Benjamin and Bernadine Thomas in New Jersey, Tessa Thomas Dorival in New York, Vanell Thomas Mark, and Anthea Thomas Prince in England. Brothers Cleophas Baptist and Sylvester Joseph in Dominica, the Joseph and Simon, or that should be Joseph and Simon Thomas in Florida, and Hague in St. Thomas. Nieces Samantha, Rachel, Asher, Lacey and Nicole in Dominica, and Nahila Joseph in Canada. Nephews Kevin, Owen, Jordan, Cordell, Philip, and Kerwin. Aunts Youthly Moses in Dominica, Helena Verge Dupree in Guadeloupe. Sister-in-law Martha Moses, or that should be Martha Thomas Joseph, so her sister-in-law once again, Martha Thomas Joseph. Special friends Gloria Lord, Henrietta Jonkier, Juliet Joseph, Junella Williams, Raymond George, Laureen Charles, and Annie Brown. Alex Frampton in New York, other family and friends names too numerous to mention as well. The body of the late Martha Evelyn Moses, better known as Evelyn Thomas, Evo, and Tom Tom of 1A Citronia can be viewed from 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, the 26th of November at Our Lady of Fatima Church in Newtown. The funeral mass will take place at 3 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Roseau Roman Catholic Cemetery. We announce the death of Eunice Virginia Daniel, better known as Mamoy and Mamoris of Biosh, resided in Georgetown, Glanville. She died on Wednesday, the 20th of November at the Reginald Fitzroy Armour Hospital in Portsmouth. The funeral arrangements of the late Eunice Virginia Daniel, better known as Mamoy or Mamoris of Biosh, who resided at Georgetown, Glanville, will be given in a subsequent announcement. Management and staff of DBS Radio, the nation station, extends deepest condolences to the family of the late Marcus Lamron, Martha Evelyn Moses, and Eunice Virginia Daniel.
And now, your Community Bulletin Board.
Let's now present to you the general announcements on this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. Applications are invited from suitable qualified individuals to fill the position of General Manager at the Marigot Cooperative Credit Union. Responsibilities. The General Manager is primarily responsible for the overall operational success of the credit union under the supervision of the Board of Directors. The General Manager operationalizes the vision, mission, goals, and policies of the MCCU by means of strategic leadership. In addition to other duties, the General Manager is responsible for fostering and maintaining amicable alliances with external partners and relevant authorities. Qualifications. A maximum of a master's degree in business administration or economics with 3 years experience at a managerial level, or a minimum of a bachelor's degree in banking and finance or management with 5 years relevant experience. A cover letter, detailed curriculum vitae, and other relevant particulars of 2 references should be submitted on or before Friday, the 29th of November 2024 to the President, Board of Directors, Marigot Cooperative Credit Union, Weirs, Marigot, Commonwealth of Dominica. UWI Global Campus and the Fort Young Hotel invite all to the 14th Annual Dame Eugenia Charles Memorial Lecture on Monday, the 2nd of December at 7 p.m. at the State House Conference Room. Honorable Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will speak on the topic, Our Caribbean Civilization and Its Political Prospects. The lecture is free. The The Dominica Geothermal Development Company Limited, DGDC Limited, invites residents of the Roseau Valley to the following community meetings to receive an update on the construction of the geothermal power plant and the new electricity transmission network. The meetings will be held at the following locations and times. Loda, Tuesday, 26 November from 6 p.m. at the Loda Community Center. Trafalgar, Wednesday, 27th November from 6 p.m. at the Trafalgar Resource Center. Details for Foncole will be provided in a subsequent announcement. The Dominica Geothermal Development Company Limited encourages your participation. Dexia wishes to inform the general public that brown sugar is available for sale with immediate effect. Kindly note that the price remains at $90 per 55-pound bag. The sales office on the Bayfront will be open to the general public. Dexia apologizes for the temporary